It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, nrg.online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Mike Weiner, NRG This Week. I am here without my partner, Leon Thomas. I want to say hi to Leon. He and I go back a minute and a half. It's about 25, almost 25 and a half years now. But we've been doing NRG This Week for a couple of years, and we're going to highlight an NRG member here in a minute. But a couple of announcements real quick. For the members, we've got NRG Pinball Express coming up on Thursday, June 5th, 4 p.m. Eastern on my Zoom. For those of you watching that would like to come to an NRG meeting, we would absolutely love to have you. We just celebrated 25 years. That's a long time, January of this year. So reach out to me several different ways. My cell number is 443-756-9656. My email is mike@networkreferralgroup.com, and the website, which is done by Holly Holiday about 2 months ago, is nrg.online. We had a record-breaking week. The week before Memorial Day, we had 11 new members coming in, and we've got a family here second to none. We're all here to help you grow. You get 3 referrals at your first meeting. Once you say, Mike, I want to join, and you become a member, I blow your phone up. 30 referrals, 30 by 3-way text intro. It's so cool. But anyway, I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day. We're shivering here in Maryland. It's in the 50s, wind chills in the 40s. It's going to be 80s by next week. But we've got a great guest today. I met her really about 2 weeks ago, and she helps folks get to Hollywood. As I'm telling you, not Baltimore, not DC, Hollywood. So I always kid Studio 54. That was the big studio back in the disco day. But Jem, let's bring Jem out, and one of our newest members, and really excited to have Jem here. So Jem, how are you? We were talking weather. You're about 50 degrees warmer than Maryland, 40 degrees. You're in the 90s. So how is the weather out in Vegas? Because I'm freezing my my you-know-what off here, but how are you doing out there?
Listen, Mike, I am freezing too because it is only 93 degrees here. And typically by now it's at triple digits after Memorial Day. So I have a jacket on. It is so cold at 93 degrees.
I was going to say, you got to break out a sweater when it's not 103 and it's 93.
That's
so,
it.
Jem, you are definitely, I've been doing this 25. It's going to be 25 and a half years. And I know I'm 60, almost 61 in October. And I think you'd agree, I don't look anywhere near there. I feel like I'm 45. Take a minute, take 2 minutes. What do you do? Because I find this fascinating. And, you know, I have a lot of members, and I purposely reached out to you. I was like, you got to be on NRG This Week. But take 2 or 3 minutes, talk about what you do, because it's fascinating. And, you know, we're recording this live. It will be out on our YouTube channel. Leon created a YouTube channel, Facebook, LinkedIn. So someone may see this in the year 2030 or 2035 or next week. So take 3 minutes. Tell us what you do. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, Mike, I want to thank you for having me on here today. And I do want to thank God for putting you in my path and NRG. So I wanted to start out by saying that I feel very, very blessed. So thank you again for having me on. So I'm Jem Wilshire. My company is Hollywood Access, Inc. What I do, we have two major divisions of my company, and I'll give you a synopsis of each within the 2 to 3 minutes. I put kids, this is on the first part or one part of my company, is I put kids, teens, and adults on TV shows, movies, and commercials in speaking roles on the major platforms in Hollywood. You know, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Disney, Showtime, Nickelodeon, ABC, CBS, NBC, BET, Lifetime, etc. So I work with people who want to become actors, kids, teens, and adults, as well as people who are already actors. The people who are already actors, they are wanting access to these major roles and these major projects on these major platforms that I have access to. I do have access, thank God, and I am very blessed to do this transformative work that I do, where I help to transform people's lives. So it is a blessing that I do have access to all of the roles that are being cast in Hollywood on those platforms I mentioned. My clients are all around the country. In fact, I do have 2 clients out of the country as well. One in Cyprus and one in Canada, and then I have clients all around the United States. I've been in the film and television industry, the entertainment industry, for 37 years, and my business, Hollywood Access Inc., is almost 20 years old. So that's one division of the company, one major division. The other major division of my company is I help people add more life to their life by making money while they sleep. I help people to grow their money. I work with ambitious people who want to increase their visibility, expand their reach, and grow their audiences while building their revenue. I help people set up their Shopify stores. So we provide a done-for-you service that will take you from concept to massive monetization. Our team in the e-commerce space, they are subject matter experts in the e-commerce space. You know, Mike, people, especially retirees and pre-retirees, they worry about will they outlive their retirement money, because Social Security is not enough to live on. And their pensions have taken a deep nosedive due to stock market issues over the years. And so, you know, that's pre-retirees and retirees. But then business owners and entrepreneurs, Mike, they worry about cash flow. So if their main area of business is strapped for cash and they're having trouble paying their bills, they can have revenue going with e-commerce. It's passive residual income, making money while they sleep, Mike.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that whole description. What's the backstory? I have not asked you this. It was one of my favorite questions. What motivated you to start your company? Is there a story there? I'd love you to share that, not only with me, because I don't know the answer, but with our viewers out there. What's the backstory?
Yes, absolutely. So, Mike, I'm from New York, and I live in Las Vegas now because of this backstory. So when I was in New York, I was in leadership positions. I have a master's degree in public administration and a bachelor's degree in special education. So in I taught 6th grade in special ed. And then later on, I became an adjunct professor and taught college for almost 10 years. And so in between all of that, I also was in leadership positions in the social services world, where I helped disenfranchised populations, okay, to get enfranchisement. And so with all of that, I have children. And while I'm working, I'm still taking care of my children and their interests and helping them to explore what was in their hearts. So here's the backstory about how I became immersed in the entertainment industry. So what's happened as I'm doing my thing, you know, being a senior administrator in social services world, I'm working with my children and taking them to and from with their activities. My oldest daughter said to me at 6 years old, "Mom, I'd like to be on TV acting and singing." And so I did the things that were necessary to give her a shot, to give her a chance, not knowing where it would go, Mike. And so I got her into training and I got her auditions. Fast forward, at 8 years old, she became professional. And what I mean by that is she started working. And if everybody knows about New York, so if you know about New York, you know there's a place called Broadway. At 8 years old, my daughter started working off Broadway. And fast forward, getting paid, working, acting and singing. Fast forward, at 11 years old, our lives changed, Mike, for better forever. We met the legendary Gladys Knight. Now, preparation intersecting opportunity gives you results, gives you success. So my daughter, I was instrumental in making sure she was prepared for opportunity through the training that I got her involved with, such that when we met the legendary, the iconic Gladys Knight, who we did not know, my daughter auditioned for her, but she was prepared for the moment, Mike. And so in that, Gladys Knight said yes to my daughter, and our lives changed for better forever. So fast forward, Gladys Knight said we had to move to Las Vegas. This is where Gladys Knight lives. And so we moved. And in that move, I became a professional in the entertainment industry, not just any longer a mom of children in the industry. And all three of my children worked in the industry. My son was a series regular. That means he was starring in a show. And he made $10,000 every week for 26 weeks on that show. And he was 14 years old. By this time, I'm a professional in the industry. I have my fingers on the pulse of everything that's happening in the film and television and commercials world. And so I'm able to gain access to these opportunities because of the relationships that I have in Hollywood. And I was able to give my children opportunities to audition for major projects. Fast forward almost 20 years ago, I decided with my business partner, Dr. Sabra, to make this a business because other people were asking me to please help them with their children. And then adults were asking me to help them to penetrate Hollywood. And so that's how it started.
That is absolutely amazing. I've been doing this with Leon over 3 years. We have never heard Gladys Knight, and the Pips brought up at a NRG this week. That is so cool. So you kind of answered one of my questions was going to be, is there any age constrictions, too young, too old? I'm assuming it doesn't really matter age, correct?
That is an excellent assumption. I do start clients at 8 years old. I will start someone at 7 years old if they're mentally advanced, because they have to be professionally trained. You just don't get on a TV show making $30,000 a week, which is what some of my clients make on these major projects. When you're starring in a show, you have to be professionally trained. Acting is undergirded by technique, but that's half of the formula for success. It is just very formulaic Hollywood. There's no mystery and mystique involved. It's just a formula for success that, and the formula is training and auditioning. And so we have access to all of the roles in Hollywood. So while we're training our clients and giving them technique, we're getting them the other part of the formula, which is when they're ready through the training, we're getting them the auditions for the roles.
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So Mike Weiner here with Jem, one of our newest members. Really excited to have her here today. We are going to take a commercial break. And on the flip side, we're going to talk to Jem a little bit about NRG, because she's one of our newest members, one of our most excited members. I know she and Lori Landine, our director of networking, they're planning to get together very soon. I do want to mention Leon's racquetball. He is very big with racquetball. He trains kids of all ages and adults. It's racquetballrevival.com. And Leon is a great mentor to these folks. And they do a lot more than just tutoring with racquetball. They get into education and just mentorship and fellowship and all that. So we are going to be right back. We're going to be talking with Jem on the flip side. We're going to talk a little NRG. We're going to talk a little bit more about what she is doing and, you know, how do you get to Hollywood? We're going to talk about that on the flip side. We will be right back after this commercial break.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars. At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in a Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What will we do without it?
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Mike Weiner here with Jem, my guest today. Brand new NRG member, excited on NRG This week, May 28th of 2025, where it's about 55 in Maryland and about 95 out in Vegas, where Jem is located. So, Jem, you come to this crazy NRG meeting. It's all excitement. It's all about family. And you know what? I'm with you about God. There is definitely a higher source that guides us and protects us. I'm totally with you on that. Totally 1,000%. So you come to this meeting, you get 3 referrals on the spot. You and I hang on at the end. You ask me some really great questions. You decide to join. I think you were that record week where we had 11 members. That's more than 2 a day. That's more than 2 a day. And I did the 30 intros for you. Yes. There's people watching this right now, and they're like, I've been in another networking group. Not NRG. It didn't really work for me. There's kids coming out of college, starting their own business or working in corporate, sales job, marketing, whatever. What would be, what when you saw NRG, 2-pointed question, what did you see at the meeting and why did you jump in and join right away? What's your message to everybody about NRG?
Yes, that is a wonderful question, and I'm so glad you asked, Mike. I saw community. I saw tribe. I saw family, more than just networking. I saw people helping people. I saw and experienced people really wanting to help other people. So the members in the community, in the NRG community, they had big appetites and big hunger and thirst for helping each other. And I saw that in real time, not just with other members, with me. And I was not even a member yet. And they were just sending me referrals. And then afterwards, I spoke with Mike at the end of the meeting, and I said, yes, I am ready to join. This is amazing. And then once I joined, Mike sent me 30 referrals right away. That I have never experienced before. That was incredible. So thank you. Thank you, God, for leading me to Mike and NRG.
Appreciate you, Jem. That is so kind of you. I appreciate that. And, Leon and I were talking offline, and he's like, the work you're doing, Mike, when people join and you help them grow. Give me one sec.
Yeah.
I do talk a lot. I run 34 of these a week, Zooms. You're impacting lives. You're impacting families. You're impacting children. And, someone asked me about the money part of it. And I'm like, you know what? If you focus on the money, you're losing the whole point. You need to focus on servitude.
Yeah.
Who are you serving? Who are you helping? Because the money part will follow naturally. And when I got that, everything blew up, Jem, for me. And I think you've seen that you've been on a couple of meetings since. And, I love your answer. And I wrote down a big hunger and thirst because I've never heard that in 25 years. And, I learned from the members too. We're all learning from each other. And the day that you think you've arrived is the day you're going backward fast. And God's got a way of just making you really humble. You agree with me on that? Yeah.
Oh, I am 100% tracking with you. If someone thinks that they have arrived or they are doing life on their own, whether it's business or other life relationships, they may as well put that proverbial nail in the coffin. We are never arrived. We are always in progress, in process, and evolving and getting to our higher selves, and prayerfully one day to our highest selves. That is what we're aspiring to. And so, like you said, Mike, we all can learn from each other, and we have to humble ourselves to realize that truth, that we all can learn from each other.
It's funny, Jem, when you were just talking about that, I'm going to show you I'm not just a networker and this handsome guy from Maryland, but self-actualization. Was that Maslow or was that not Maslow? So
Maslow.
Hey, I do have a few brains up here, and I remember a few things from high school and college. So I got one last question for you, and then we're going to wrap up. So if someone thinks they're a good candidate for you, they know how to reach out to you or to me, but what do you look for that you feel? Is it singing, acting? Is there something else to get to Broadway? What are maybe 2 or 3 things that you really? I know you've told me that you can take people and help them become a better actor, actress, and that blew me away because I could see me being like the next Adam Sandler. If you and I will talk about it more offline, but I've got that Jewish charisma, and I'm sure you've worked with everybody of all backgrounds. So, what are some of the things that you look for, so that if our viewers hear them and they go, "Oh, Jem was talking about that on NRG this week on May 28th at 3:27 Eastern Time." What are some of the things that people should look at for themselves that they may want to contact you or me with the potential to get to Hollywood? We're going to wrap up I'm going to ask you a sports question. I got one more after that. We always talk sports for a minute. So go ahead and answer that one, and then we'll get to the last question.
Awesome. So thank you for that question, Mike. So for the acting side of my company, recall there are 2 major divisions of my company. So the answer to the question regarding the acting side of my company, what I am looking for is not, can you act or are you good at acting? No, I'm going to make you good at acting. But what I am looking for is commitment. I'm looking for people who come to the table with heart, with passion, with fervor, with desire, and intensity of desire to want to do this, to be on TV shows and movies and commercials. They've got to come to the table with those ethereal qualities, Mike, those intangibles, because I cannot teach someone commitment. I cannot teach them focus and discipline. They have to come to the table with that. And then I will lay on top of that the winning formula for success, training and auditioning, giving them access to the roles in Hollywood once they're in training. And then we have a recipe for success. So that's on the acting side. That's what I'm looking for. And it's any age from 8 years old, if they're 7, and they're mentally advanced, all the way to adults. I have a 67-year-old client. I have a 52-year-old client. I have a 72-year-old client, and I have people in their 40s, 50s, 20s, 30s, and teenagers and preteens, and all the way to 8 years old. So that's on the acting side, what I'm looking for. We do have a session coming up to prepare our acting clients for the next round of roles that are being cast in Hollywood. And that session starts June 22nd. So if you're serious, please reach out to me immediately. On the other side, the other major division of our company, which is we're helping people to make money while they sleep, passive residual income through e-commerce, business owners, entrepreneurs. If you're strapped for cash flow, please reach out to me at the same contact information. Please reach out if you need a way to have income coming in, whether you're doing well in your business or you are not doing so well in your business and you need another income stream. You know, we have to diversify our streams of income. So yes, business owners, entrepreneurs, and retirees and pre-retirees. If you don't have enough money to live on, you're afraid that you're going to outlive your retirement money, please reach out to me. I can help.
Love it. Love it. So for those of you watching, there was 5 words that I got really strong, and I wrote them down: commitment, heart, passion, fortitude, desire. Was that good? Was
Yes,
that a good repeat back? And I love those words. And that's how I feel about NRG. So I know I'm doing the right thing, you know, for what I love to do. So Jim, we always talk sports. Do you have a favorite baseball or football team? We always talk baseball and football. So is there a team that you really like?
Okay, so my son, who was also an actor, the one I talked about that was one of the stars of a TV series, he's also a sports aficionado, okay? And he played football. So his team is Dallas Cowboys, so I've got to go with my son, the Cowboys. I hope I'm not offending anyone.
Well, you know, the funny thing about the Cowboys, they have been touted over the years as America's team, and they play on Thanksgiving almost every year. I think it's every year. I think the Lions and the Cowboys. So, yeah, I'm an Orioles fan, and it's been a tough go. They're in last place this year. They have 8 pitchers on the disabled list. I don't know what they're doing, but they have 8. But they're only 5 games behind the Yankees. The Yankees are in first. The whole division, Jim, is a mess. I am a Ravens fan as well, but they get into the playoffs and every time they lose. So I've heard early forecasts of them saying the Ravens are the favorite to go to the Super Bowl and win it this year. So we will see what happens. But Jim, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. I could go for 3 more hours, but it's only a half-hour show. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to wrap us up now, Jim. I will see you at a meeting soon. We got Atlanta in 28 minutes if you want to jump on, but thank you so much for being here. You did a great job, and I will see you in the green room after the show. So I'm going to wrap up now for everybody. NRG this week, and if you haven't been to an NRG meeting, please reach out to me. It's 443-756-9656. My email is mike@networkreferralgroup.com. The website is nrg.online. You will get 3 referrals at your first meeting. Once you become a new member like Jem, you will get 30. So we are wrapped. I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day. We're heading into summer soon, and we will see you next week for another episode of NRG This Week. And I'm going to say thank you.